Yeah, so we have a brand new type of lesson for you guys today. Andrew and I are actually together here in person, and it's the first video that we're doing together physically. So, so we thought this would actually be the perfect opportunity to talk about some differences in our accents, because where are you from, Andrea?
So I'm from London. I was born in the UK.
And I'm from Colorado in the United States, as many of you may already know. And so we wanted to talk about some words that are different in American and British English. So this will help you a lot if you are learning one accent and you want to transition to another. Maybe you want to travel and you want to know what words people from that other country might not understand.
Yeah, it's just really useful because also if you watch lots of different TV series and movies, some of our words are different and you might not know which one is British English or American English. So it's really useful to know.
Exactly. And before we get into start talking about these different words and stuff, I wanted to let you know that if you're new here, every week we make fun new lessons like this one so that you can understand fast-speaking natives like Andrea and I without getting lost, without missing the jokes, and without subtitles. So if that sounds like something that you would like to be able to do, it's really simple. Just hit that subscribe button and the bell below so you don't miss any of our new lessons. So our first word, these are chips, of course.
No, Ethan, I'm really sorry. Those are not chips.
So what are chips for you?
So chips are something that's hot that you would have like with a burger or something. So these in British English are crisps because they are crunchy and they come in a packet.
But the hot things, they're called French fries.
Well, yeah, I guess they are. And I guess they are for us as well. Like if you're going to certain fast food restaurants,
Really?
They are French fries, but we still
that.
call them chips in the UK.
All right, so you better not get confused. If you want them cold, in the US say chips. If you want them hot in the UK, say chips.
Exactly.
Chips, please. A few more. Just a few more.
Okay, girls, we are ready for Scrabble.
I'll grab some snacks.
Potato chips, please.
Oh, so I can hear about how much you hate yourself all night?
And how about, what would you call these?
So these are biscuits.
But biscuits are not sweet.
Yes, they are. Why? What are you talking about?
Those are cookies, of course.
See, cookies for us, we have cookies as well, but cookies are like a chocolate chip cookie or something, but there's lots of different types of biscuits. So generally in the UK, you would say that these types of sweet, hard, what you'd say cookies are biscuits.
So as you said, we would call those cookies. Biscuits are actually something different in the US, and I think they probably don't exist in the UK, but it's actually something savory. We might have it at breakfast with gravy on top of it, which I think is another thing that can be different. It's like a white sauce with bacon, and it's a really delicious breakfast. If you're ever in the US and you want to try something really typical, you can get biscuits and gravy.
That sounds like a really heavy breakfast.
It is. American breakfasts are very heavy, but British breakfasts are too, right?
If you have like a full English breakfast.
And just to let you guys know, if you want a really natural and fun way to learn the vocabulary that Americans really use in our speech, then I would highly recommend to you our Fluent with Friends course, where you will learn over 48 weeks with the first 2 seasons of Friends, the TV series.
Yeah, and this is a great way to learn, even if you want to learn British English. I mean, throughout the series, there are lots of British characters, which is great.
Good and bad.
Exactly. And yeah, we've taken a look at that actually in some other lessons. But even as someone who is from Britain, like I've learned so much from watching the show as well. I think that's probably where I have more of my knowledge of American English words and pronunciation and everything is from watching Friends.
And they even have done some studies that show how it kind of like has affected and transformed some words in British English.
Yeah, because we were talking, well, we talk all the time about the way that we pronounce words, but I've even sometimes I use the American T, which sounds more like a D, and I never used to do that before, so it really has made an impact on my own speech as well.
That's true. And if you want to try that course out for free, we have a 3-part masterclass, so you'll have a lot of fun learning with that. And you can learn more and sign up by clicking up at the top or down in the description below. So we have some different vegetables as well. What would you call that kind of like long green one that you, not a cucumber, but it's one that you would cook up?
Yeah, we would call this a courgette.
A courgette. It sounds very French. We would call it a zucchini.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess some of these types of vegetables, we kind of take the French word for it because it does sound very French, you're right. And zucchini, would you say that's more Italian?
That sounds more Italian, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder why we got the Italian and you got the French.
Yeah, it's really interesting. We need to look into that to find
any,
out why.
If we have any Italian or French fans out there that want to offer us some clarification here. And there's another one that I think the American name is actually really weird because who knows what it has to do with this. It's called an eggplant. It looks nothing like an egg. Maybe someone thought it did.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really taste like an egg. What would you call that?
We call that aubergine, which again is French, isn't it? Yeah.
So if you're in the US and maybe you know the word aubergine, sounds like a lot of Latin languages, and you want that kind of vegetable or you see it on the menu, an eggplant, you can know that that's not actually anything to do with eggs.
So if I went to America and I asked for aubergine, do you think people would understand what I was saying?
I don't think so. I think I just learned that from being around British people. So definitely if you're in the US and you say an aubergine, I don't think, or a courgette, I think they're going to think that you're not a native English speaker.
Yeah, they'll probably be really confused, wouldn't they?
So we have one more thing having to do with food, kind of with food. If you go to a candy shop, does this exist in the UK, a candy shop?
It does, but we call it a sweet shop.
So what do you buy at a sweet shop?
So at a sweet shop, you buy all those kind of sugary sweets, the ones that can be like fizzy, cola bottles, milk bottles,
Gummies.
Yeah, you would call them gummies. We don't really say gummies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I said it earlier to you because when I was thinking about it, I wanted to make sure like we were clear on what we were talking about. But we call gummy bears. But yeah, we just call them sweets.
That's like Haribo and things of the sort, right?
Exactly.
So we call that candy. If you go to a candy shop, that's also the kind of things that you would find, the gummy bears and anything that's kind of like hard or chewy or different things like that, usually with a lot of different colors. But for us, sweets, I would generally think of like anything that's sweet. So I could also think like cakes, pastries. So if you say a sweet shop, I might even think it's like a bakery, maybe.
No, it wouldn't be. But I kind of find that a little bit confusing because what would you then call chocolate? You call chocolate candy as well, don't you?
Not really. I think it could definitely be associated. Like at a candy store, you'll find chocolate. And the pronunciation there is quite different as well because we say chocolate and you say
chocolate.
So it's like a bit of a shorter I sound there, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so chocolate, you might think about that though because we have candy bars, right?
That's what I'm thinking of, yeah. Because I would say I want some chocolate or a chocolate bar, but you would call it a candy bar.
Candy bar. But a candy bar, because we have chocolate bars as well, but chocolate bars would be like if it's just pure chocolate. A candy bar is when it has like different candy bits inside of it, like, or maybe different things like pretzels, toffee, things like that.
That makes sense. You've kind of made it a bit clearer for me now because that's kind of one that I've even found confusing as well sometimes.
So we are covering a ton of vocabulary in this lesson already. So if you are like me and it's kind of difficult for you to remember a bunch of words, there's a lot of great tools out there and techniques that can help you a lot. And actually on our other channel, on our Real Life English channel, I just recently taught a lesson all about how you can better memorize vocabulary. And these things have helped me a lot in learning 6 different languages.
It's a really great lesson and there's so many tips there on how you can memorize vocabulary. So it goes really well with today's lesson as well because we've taught you a lot of new vocabulary. Exactly.
So be sure to head over there after you finish this lesson and now we'll continue with a few more words. Next, we're going to move on from food. We'll talk about clothing. I think we have a lot of differences with clothing as well.
There are loads.
So, for example, if I go to the UK and I want to buy some green pants, where are they going to take me?
You want underwear?
No, I want pants, of course, long pants.
But those are called trousers.
Trousers. That's like one of the words that definitely I think Americans would know, but it just sounds like it sounds very British or like very old English or something like that to us.
Yeah, this is actually quite funny because I was speaking to my sister the other day and she was living in Colorado actually for like 6 years. And my nephew, because he was born there and grew up there, a lot of the words that he speaks are American English words. So he still says pants, as in trousers that we would say in Britain. And my sister was saying, oh, I'm going to start teaching him some of the British words now so that he understands when I'm saying certain words as well. So yeah, for us, we say trousers. You don't say this at all, do you?
No, we don't say that at all. We just say pants, and the other thing would be underwear or underpants.
Yeah, we still say underwear, but pants generally means your underwear, and usually more men's underwear because the female underwear are called knickers, actually.
Knickers.
I don't know if you knew that.
That's a very British word as well.
Yeah.
I woke up wearing somebody else's trousers. No pants. I've got no memory.
I don't believe this. Son of a bitch! Well, I'll call 911. What? Oh no! My phone is in my other pants!
Mine too. So's mine.
Okay, so talking about pants, so if you call pants underwear, then what would sweatpants be?
So these in the UK, we would call tracksuit bottoms. So it's quite long. So not everyone says tracksuit bottoms. We would shorten it to say trackies.
Trackies.
Yeah.
Huh. So you have sweatpants, and then you might have like a sweatshirt in the US.
Yeah, we call a sweatshirt a jumper.
A jumper. And what, do you know what that comes from?
I don't actually. No, I'm not sure. But I know that quite a European way of saying it would be pullover. Have you heard that as well?
I have heard that.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. A sweatshirt. So a sweatshirt is a jumper, right? But then you also have sweater.
Yeah. We have a sweater. A sweatshirt is more like the one that doesn't have any hood or anything like around it. And then like a sweater is more like what your grandmother might knit for you for Christmas.
Yeah, so that's a jumper for us.
That's a jumper. So a sweatshirt, would that be like a track shirt or something like that?
The whole thing, we call it a tracksuit.
Okay.
But people don't tend to use this word that much anymore. This was more like the 90s kind of shell tracksuits. I don't know if you remember those. But the ones with the hood, we just call them hoodies.
A hoodie. Yeah, that's for us as well. But if it's without a hood, that might be a sweatshirt.
Put your jumper back.
Mom, Chandler was just saying how beautiful your sweater is.
Oh, thank you, Chandler. I just bought it.
Oh, yes. Well, it's very beautiful, and it's cream-colored and tight, and... I mean, tight. I mean, it's not too tight. Not that I was looking at...
What's the matter with him?
So the next one we have is, what would you call shoes? Basically, the kind that you might wear because they're comfortable every day, or maybe for sports.
Yeah, we would call these trainers.
So we actually have several names in the US, but sneakers or maybe tennis shoes.
So are tennis shoes those like white kind of lace-up ones?
Yeah, I think we kind of like use them as a general term for all of them, but I think like the most traditional ones, and we even shorten it to like tennies.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, we don't have these words in Britain. I think people will understand you if you say them, but we just say trainers for all these kinds of shoes that you use for sports.
I feel like people might take tennis shoes too literally in the UK, right?
Yeah.
Like shoes for actual tennis. They might send you to like a tennis shop.
Exactly. That's a bit confusing.
Yeah. So be sure, maybe don't use that one. Maybe use sneakers if you're in the UK and you forget the word for the British word trainers.
Yeah, definitely. If you say sneakers, people will understand what you mean.
Of course, I had no idea how we'd actually get into a club, but I wasn't taking any chances and wore my smartest shoes. Something Simon didn't do.
Why are you wearing trainers, Si?
Because they look good.
I specifically said no trainers.
Not if you want to get into clubs.
I just don't want to run. I didn't bring my sneakers or my clothes.
You're going to have to run or you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
All right, so we talked about pants. We talked about underwear. Women sometimes wear something as well that's kind of like would go under their dress or whatever. What would you call that?
So we call these tights.
So for me, tights are kind of like in Shakespeare, like what the men would wear.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, I guess I don't know why they're called tights. I guess because they are quite tight-fitting
right?
when you're wearing them, and they're very stretchy. I suppose they're kind of like the ones that men would have worn during Shakespeare's time. They were probably a bit thicker, I imagine. But women's tights, obviously, you can get them quite sheer. You can get really thick ones, like for winter, and they keep you warm and everything as well. But you don't have this word for this particular type of clothing, do you?
No, we would call this pantyhose.
Pantyhose.
Yeah, so the pronunciation there is even different because I would say that in T, I would drop the T, so I say pantyhose, but you say the T.
Pantyhose, yeah. Or would I say just with the glottal T, I'm thinking what it would sound like, pantyhose. You'd still say the H sound. Yeah, we'd say pantyhose. But yeah, I think people might understand what you're saying, but it is not a British word at all.
It's a really silly sounding word in English, in American English. I mean, pantyhose.
I guess
pantyhose.
Is it because you wear it again like underneath some clothing?
And you also call, we'll call like women's underwears, you said knickers, we'll call them panties.
And then hose, is it?
I'm not sure what that comes from. Like I think of like a hose that you like garden with, right?
Yeah.
But maybe because that like tube shape, right?
I guess so. Do you call that a hose pipe?
No. What's the hose pipe?
So a hose pipe is this one that you have in the garden that you use to water your garden and your grass and everything.
We just call that a hose.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can call it a hose for short as well, but the full word is a hose pipe.
Hose pipe.
Yeah.
I've never heard that. It's a new one for me. So the last one we had, actually, it's not so much clothes, but it's kind of like fashion, right? So if you don't have them, but like if you maybe decide to change your look and you went to your salon, you might ask them to leave you some hair here. What would you call that?
Just very quickly, I would go to the salon.
Not the salon.
Yeah. So there's a difference there as well.
We call it also like a beauty parlor.
Yeah. We don't say beauty parlor so much. We'd say the beautician.
The beautician.
Something.
But that's like nails and such as well, right?
Yeah.
Makeup.
Hairdresser to go to get what we would call a fringe.
A fringe.
So when you have this nice cut.
I think that's like very strange because there's like, it's like a block of hair, I guess, but there's like all these individual hairs. We call it bangs because it's plural. You know, it's like all of the hairs that go in the front.
Yeah. So if I were to say fringe, what do you think of?
A fringe. I mean, that is a word, but I think like you're on the fringe of something, like it's kind of like the edge of something.
Okay. Because there is also like in some clothing and with accessories, like with some bags, for example, handbags, there's a type of fringe as well. Like, I guess it's a bit Western.
You're right. Yeah. Or like those dresses that have like the little like beads and things like that.
And it looks like a fringe and it's the same word. Bangs?
Okay,
Where does that word come from?
I don't know. It sounds like a gun, doesn't it? Like bang, bang.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
And, you know, like in my mind, a fringe, because I've grown up with that word, it's like one thing because it's all in the same area of your face. But bangs, like you said, it's plural.
Yeah, we think of like all the hairs, but you can't just say like one. Well, I guess you could say like one bang. It's not so common to hear that though. You know, like I had like a bang fall out or something like that.
Oh, really? Okay. It's interesting. Two completely different words that mean the same thing.
All right, so we're transitioning out of fashion and we're going to talk about babies of all things. Yeah. So what do you put on the baby, you know, like kind of when they haven't learned to use the toilet or the bathroom yet? What is the thing that you put on them?
So in the UK, we would call this a nappy.
A nappy. It's like a really cute word. In the US, we call it a diaper, which I think doesn't sound as much like a baby word.
Yeah, it's so strange because again, they're very different words, aren't they? There's like nothing similar about them at all. I don't know where it comes from. But to kind of make it a bit cuter, would you call it a diaper or something?
We would, yeah.
Okay.
If you're talking with a kid, maybe you might say a diaper.
Yeah. Obviously, because of media and probably friends again as well, we would know what you're talking about if you said diaper in the UK. Would you know in America if someone said, oh, I'm looking for some nappies? Do you think people would understand?
don't think, I might think of like a napkin or something.
What out of milk? She's down to her last napkin.
Welcome to my world. So take, isn't it?
Look, I have another kid on the way. Do you know how much diapers cost?
Yes.
So the next one is, I think it's another one that it's much cuter in British English, but we would say a pacifier that you give a baby to suck on when they're maybe crying. And this comes from the word, there's actually a verb to pacify, which means to like make peaceful. So I guess it's kind of, it makes sense.
It does.
So what would you say in the UK?
It does make sense. It just sounds a bit technical.
It does,
doesn't it?
yeah.
So this word in the UK is a dummy.
A dummy. Now a dummy, we would think a dummy is like someone who's not very smart. You might use that as like an insult, like you dummy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that. So that's where it can be a bit dangerous,
Yeah.
I guess. But I don't know why it's called a dummy. I guess the insult dummy comes from maybe puppets as well, because is it kind of related to that?
It's like a crash test dummy, right? Like that they use in those car commercials to show how safe the car is.
Yeah.
Huh. I actually thought more maybe that it comes from like, you know, if you're dumb is another word to say that you're mute, that you can't speak. So it kind of like makes the baby dumb, like in the sense that they can't speak.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Shuts them up. So we could also call it like a passy if you want to make it a little bit cuter.
Yeah, I remember hearing my sister calling
Or
this.
did you hear the other word for it? A binky?
No, I haven't heard that one.
Binky. So yeah, that's the other one you could use.
Okay.
So the last one that we have for you here is another thing for a baby, a crib that they would sleep in.
So we don't call this a crib, but I think maybe it has become more of a term in Britain as well, but we would call it a cot.
A cot, okay. A cot for me is like it's a bed that you sleep in maybe when you're camping.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I haven't heard it in that term, but it's definitely where a baby would sleep. If you go camping or something, would you sleep in a sleeping bag?
Yeah, that's the same word.
Okay, that's good to know.
All right, so we actually have a few more words that are all about automobiles, all about cars, over on our Instagram. So if you want to learn more of this vocabulary, that is a great place to continue the conversation. And while you're there, be sure to follow us because we also give you daily lessons, tips, inspiration, and so much more. So we look forward to seeing you over there.
Our next word is fancy. Now, you might have heard in American English the term, I have a crush on someone. Well, in British English, we would say, I fancy someone. We can also use it to describe a desire. For example, I might say, I fancy a cup of tea, or I fancy some chocolate.